This is the GV Podcast, a variety review podcast featuring two of the three idiots giving their thoughts on cartoons and anime. This is an opinion-based podcast, and there's no way we're saying our thoughts and opinions are objective. Keep this in mind and enjoy the show. I speak fluent nonsense. Hello everybody, my name is Mayhem.
I'm Jinsu.
Duke. And today we're going to be talking about something a little bit, tiny bit different, though still in line. It's a little special made by Oda called...
Mercies 103 Damnation Dragon. Or Dragon Damnation?
Dragon
Monsters, 103 Mercies, Dragon Damnation.
Monsters. 103 Mercies, Dragon Damnation.
The story of Ryuma.
The guy that Zoro fought in Thriller Bark.
God of Swords, yes.
And he got the good sword. That's actually like really good.
You got the Black Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like really good.
Isn't that Shusui or... I think it's Shusui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, a shoe is what you squeeze.
Silence!
American!
And it was a little short special. It was like 20 minutes?
Yeah.
It was a short little thing. Surprising enough, Oda made something short. Oh, that's weird.
Well, it's kind of a given considering... okay, I got to send in a draft to Shonen Jump.
I gotta prove to them I can make a story.
Funny enough, even One Piece itself was supposed to be like under 5 years.
Oh God.
You know what changed it?
The Warlords?
Warlord system.
Yeah. A really great thing that they added, and then Oda just went...
I can't believe all the way up to Marineford was only 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that was going to take place, like everything of One Piece was going to take place in like just a few years, but then Oda made Warlords and was just like, I could really run with this. This is awesome!
And the fact
and he made Crocodile.
Yeah, Crocodile. The fact with this little short that we had, the most peculiar thing, no pirates. There's no pirates at all.
Nope, there's samurais, there's Western Town.
There's a musketeer.
There's a musketeer, and a weird freak in the middle of the city.
Yeah, and a dragon.
And a dragon.
But that's the craziest part, is that I feel like Oda was just like, I really like pirates, and I want my big story to be about it. Let me not focus on that right now. Let me prove that I can do something that I don't really want to do.
Yes.
And make a quick little story on it.
There are so many theories when it comes to Ryuma's story that I'll be able to mention afterwards, after talking about the plot.
Yeah.
But I'll say, as this, like, story-wise, it's nothing crazy, but that's the point. Literally, the entire point was Oda wanted to make a story that could pique the interest of Shonen Jump, and he did.
And it came in clutch, as it was very definitely, because like this came out like really recently, right?
The movie, it just came out.
Thing,
this short came out on the 21st.
Yeah, so it just came out now. Please watch Thriller Bark, guys. It's good, I promise.
It's a reminder that every bit of the story for One Piece is actually important. It is really cool that, like, unlike Dragon Ball, for example, when it comes to the story of One Piece, everything has its importance.
Everything is stitched together in such a crazy way that it feels more lived in, I would think.
Absolutely.
What about you, Jinsu? Do you think that everything is somewhat connected in One Piece, like stitched together, is a much more like gives it a lived in feeling?
What do you mean?
For the world of One Piece, how everything is connected in like either like they heard about their village was saved by this person, so they went off on an adventure and did something or something like that, and that everything is connected.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about One Piece, is that like while something's happening, something else is going on, or while the heroes were off doing this, and while the focus of the story was what the heroes were doing, this was going on in behind the scenes somewhere else. Like when I don't know if it's spoilers actually. Like when Nefertiti Cobra died. Like that happens off screen.
Who's that again?
Vivi's dad.
Oh, he does die.
Yes.
Yeah, that is spoilers.
Yeah.
Oops. So
he was okay. So, but here's the thing: so it was very obviously he's going to die. So yeah.
Yeah, in all fairness, but yeah, no.
Okay, but
to expand further into that,
like, okay, so here's another explanation. But like going back to Alabasta, like so while everyone's doing their thing, going through the East Blue and everything, and like figuring out how to get to the Grand Line, Crocodile is politically like constructing all this crazy bullshit to happen in Alabasta.
And he finally gets it's about to happen, but then as soon as it's about to become his, then the Straw Hats show up.
Yeah, right before the plan gets like finally put together and is like finalized, that's when the Straw Hats show up and fuck everything up.
And meanwhile, Alabasta has its own history and all that kind of stuff, and it's one of the main places people go to on the Grand Line, so it's very heavily trafficked place.
Right.
So
and then,
everybody knows about it and all that kind of stuff.
Right,
so
and when Marineford ended, the whole world was watching Luffy like go through this stuff through the newspaper, and it was all like taking place. Like, you got to see everyone's perspective, like, oh my god, this happened to Luffy, this happened to Luffy, this happened to Luffy.
Yeah. And then every time he gets his bounty, like, updated or something like that, we get, like, to see a spree of people that we care about, and that care about Luffy, and they're just like, he keeps going.
Characters that showed up in the past are watching him grow, and they're, like, they're actively, like, alive and doing things, and, like, you'll like, there'll be something different about the setting, too, with, like, those characters. Like, I think in one of the, excuse me, while they're looking at Luffy's bounty and stuff like that, in the background they're like repairing the city or like the village or whatever.
And like the new leader, like some person showed up and is now the guy in charge, like Dalton on Drum Island.
Yeah.
It's the reason. Sorry.
No, keep going. Or we're going.
It's the reason why one of my favorite things are the cover stories, where it's just a random story about a character, where you don't have to interrupt the flow of the story. Instead, add this in as a little tidbit, like Blackbeard's chase. Ace has a backstory, has a cover story of his chase for Blackbeard.
Which sets up Marineford.
Yeah, it sets up Marineford.
To a much lesser degree, Buggy's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
With setting up basically him meeting up with Alvida and basically being the trouble that they are on Logtown.
We don't see them interact like they do in the episode that it expanded on it.
Yeah.
We don't see them do that
it was,
like in the manga.
In the actual manga. Yeah. It was a good like creative
little added touch.
Yeah, that I feel like that they're definitely gonna like expand upon a bit more in the live action, I think.
Do you know how much of that like was basically added together?
Like 90% of it.
Most of it. Like beginning of the cover story is him like at sea basically like trying to get away from shit, like animals and stuff.
Yeah.
End of the cover story goes all the way to him retrieving his body and saving his crew.
Yeah. And then
that entire thing.
And then he just pops, and then without like if you never read the cover stories, then all of a sudden Buggy just shows back up on Logtown and causes trouble.
Exactly.
But with that added little tidbit, there you go. And that's kind of what we can kind of wrap back around to the Ryuma story, where it's this corpse of a samurai dude that got that Brooks Shadow Soul thing that Gecko Moria put them together. It was such a tiny little thing that when you're watching it, you didn't really understand the importance of Ryuma showing up in One Piece. You didn't really get that. But now, after this little special that came out,
people that read it were like, "Oh my god!"
It's literally the thing that allowed Oda to make One Piece with Shonen Jump. It's the thing. So the fact that it's weird how Netflix is just like, oh my god, people love One Piece, I'm gonna make a shitload of money.
It's fair enough.
It's honestly, that's the best way that like it could be taken, where as long as Netflix just doesn't fuck it up and makes Oda happy and makes it like continues working with Oda and brings more One Piece shit, that we'll just have a buttload of One Piece really well-made content.
What it is that Netflix found the Golden Goose, and the Golden Goose also happens to be on conservative watch, of if you touch this bird in any bad way, will end your existence.
Yeah. Wait, I gotta look up. What was the company that made the Dragon Ball Evolution?
Oh god, I don't know. It's
the studio?
The studio that made Dragon... I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Ugh, man.
Studio.
But when it comes to Netflix, the way they handle One Piece is it's essentially... They look at like all these different folk and they're like, what was it?
It's Fox. And they're not around anymore.
Oh. Go fucking
Who has
figure.
the rights to it now, though?
Disney.
Disney has the rights
to make a live-action Dragon Ball.
What the fuck?
But they won't. They know.
They know.
Because Toei will come after their ass. Toei's
Yeah.
the other fucked up, super tight, like, legal bullshit people.
Can you imagine Dragon Ball Evolution showing up on Disney Plus?
And it's bad, and it's like not Dragon Ball. Like, it's totally shitting on Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Instead of.
So that is the prime example of you don't mess with this, and Netflix has definitely learned from Dragon Ball Evolution, especially with the live action and the extra stuff that they're making.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing I will say though with this Ryuma's special, the animation studio, was it Wit
No. Wit is doing the remake.
doing the remake? Because it looks a lot like something that Wit Studios would make.
Very.
And my only problem, I'm on the fence about it because it looks good, but I don't associate that art style with One Piece. I associate the very distinct One Piece art style.
There are elements of it that feel very One Piece, and you can tell that was kind of the goal.
Yeah, it's like obviously Ryuma's eyes were very Luffy, and his hairstyle was Zoro inspired. He was a combination of the two.
If you want one step better when it comes to that, I am fairly certain of this. Oda redesigned a lot of characters in this.
Yeah.
I'm very certain of that, and you want to know why?
Why?
I read the manga.
You're right.
I decided to read it as well, and after reading it, dude, DR and Shirano, or what was his name?
I don't remember. The Musketeer.
The Musketeer, yeah.
We just watched it.
I didn't like him, so I didn't remember his name. That's why I remember Ryuma.
We just
It's
watched
funny
it.
that I say that as, like, that was his name, though. Shirano.
Yeah.
Shirano.
Like, wouldn't that ring a bell at least, man? Like, come on.
No, it's impossible. There's no way. But what about you, Jinsu? You didn't really see a lot of, like, animation stuff with One Piece. But what about this little special? What did you think about the animation? And art style?
The animation felt very steady. Like, they went for a very, like, safe, simple animation style. They didn't try going too hard. They didn't try adding any crazy flourishes except for, like, 2 moments.
Yeah.
And, like, only one of those 2 moments were, like, really good, I feel. Like, I only really liked one moment where they, like, were like, whoo, like, this moment's serious, you know?
It was a quick draw.
Yeah, the quick draw at the end with him versus Shirano. That was good. That was good as fuck.
Yeah.
But, like, the moment of action against the dragon, that one was bad.
It was a quick zoom in.
And it was like really awkwardly drawn, and it looked really weird. And I was like, "Oh, this is bad. Oh, that's bad."
So, considering animation studio, it's an early animation studio. Like, they haven't done much. That's the reason why they did good in certain parts, not so good in other parts, because it's one of their earliest.
Yeah.
They have 3 total. That's it.
Really?
And I can't even name the other 2 because they're not that big. Like, one of them's called Bullet, and I've never heard of it.
Never heard of that, yeah.
But
good on them.
the director, though,
Oh.
the director is the same director as the director of God of High School and Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1.
Interesting. That's
Very
probably
cool.
why, like, I had a very, like, this entire, like, special had a very low-key, chill vibe.
Yeah, I really do appreciate when, like, some bigger name like One Piece ends up going, okay, we've been doing this for a long time. We want to go ahead and branch this out and give some other people some love.
And meanwhile, those people are
E&H
just, like...
Studio, come to us!
Meanwhile, those people that, like, started that studio or whatever probably started because they watched One Piece or whatever. Like, they got inspired by One Piece.
Yeah.
So it kind of just works out like that.
Very interesting.
And since the special, it's a very, very quick little... Like, it feels like a fairy tale that, like, is very... like, this story
Like
is
a tale
very...
has been passed down?
It's passed down and made for children. Like a Nolan the Liar. Like, I feel like with this, we would also get, like, another, like... We would get a Nolan the Liar sort of story.
This would be a book in, like, say, either the South Blue or just anywhere near Wano.
Yeah.
I like that.
The legend of Ryuma the King and the dragon.
Very interesting. I do like the little touches of all these different books around the world. when it comes to...
That's another reason why One Piece just feels so lived in, is because a lot of these stories are just like the King Arthur, Robin Hood stories that just they all have. The Peach Boy story. Like, they all have... Like, Oda literally went to every single country and was just like, yeah, this place feels like it would know about this story. This place inspired this story, so they would obviously know about it, but have the true... like, parts that actually made it and all that kind of stuff. Oda world build's so fucking good!
You want to go one step funnier still? Like, my favorite thing, like, was a recent one of, we're watching Dressrosa right now.
Yeah.
Comic book exist. Comic books exist, and not just that, you got to see that of, they're essentially, like, in the phase of, like, World War II propaganda with the Germa 6-6.
Oh, yeah, with like, Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, like...
Yeah.
They're definitely portrayed as... this, like, evil group of people, propaganda.
Yeah, apparently some people treat them as, like, possibly, like, some of them may be superheroes, some of them may be this, that, and it's wild of just, like, the hero of the Marines, and it's like, what?
No, they're actually, in the gray.
Douches.
They're warmongers.
Warmongers.
Yeah.
It's essentially, what if Tony never felt bad?
Yeah.
And so to mention some stuff when it came to this one, I want to talk about the character designs. They were so heavily changed because Shirano, being the first one to mention, looks basic as shit in the manga.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta pop up an image of what Shirano looks like in the manga, because he looks nothing like what he looked right there.
Really. I will say it is interesting that they were able to make Ryuma look like the what we had from him, obviously, in Thriller Bark was not going to be exactly what he looked like because it was at the end of his life. He's a zombie. He was also stitched together by Dr. What's-His-Face?
Ryuma was stitched back together by Dr. Hogback.
Hogback, that was the name.
Yeah.
So obviously, except for, like, the obvious, like, hair and the sword and the get-up, like, the clothing, he was very...
There's an image of Shirano.
That's old Shirano?
Yep, that's old Shirano.
That's his old design.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
The best way to put it is he's basically like the prototype design of Sanji, but what if he was anorexic and had like as much French musketeer bullshit as
yeah,
possible?
if he focused more on the French musketeer than the French chef.
Yeah. Girl may basically stay the same.
Yeah.
But you want to see the biggest difference.
Is it DR?
It's DR.
DR was probably my least favorite design. The fact that he literally has a D and
I would
R
say
on
he
his...
was worse.
Why does he have the same facial structure of Beavis and Butthead?
But yeah, that's what DR used to look like.
Yeah.
Even the barkeep dude actually had a design change a bit.
They made him
a little cleaner. Yeah. A little hair on his chin.
They definitely like touched up, and it's definitely what happened to Robin in the
they
art
took
style.
the melanin.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but yeah.
No, they didn't take the melanin because the melanin wasn't even there.
She was tan. She was a tan.
Yeah, let's not get into that one. People get weird about that. But anyway, want to talk story?
In 3 sentences or less.
Okay, Ryuma comes to a town because he's just wants some food, and apparently he is a traveling swordsman. He ends up encountering multiple people, including the barkeep, who explains the history of the town, this woman who was saved by saved from a dragon attack, and the guy who saved her from the dragon attack, Shirano. It won't be 3 sentences, fuck you. It could have been. It's about to not be. He ends up tapping blades with Shirano and decides to start a fight with him. And this was after basically being fed by the girl who was saved in the past. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, I owe a debt to you! I owe a debt! And so he goes and gets ready to fight him and cuts a bronze statue in half, like perfectly slices through it. And Shirano manages to counter it, the whole thing, and throw a sword. He's like, fuck off. It's like, and the girl's just like, stop it! Funny. He decides to leave because it's like, fuck this, and So he leaves and encounters this guy named DR, who bumps him and goes, "I've been stabbed suddenly! You stabbed me!" And everybody goes, "You stabbed this man! Dragon horn!"
Blows the dragon horde. And then he just walks away, and everybody's just like, "It's your fault, Ryuma. It's your fault." Meanwhile, the guy is just gone.
Why would you push the crazy man to push the crazy button?
Why would you let the homeless man steal all the money?
It's all your fault that the homeless guy stole all the money.
It is that scene right there, and then so basically everybody comes to term with the dragon being called and coming to town and all that kind of stuff, and people flee except for the girl and Ryuma, obviously trying to save her, trying to keep her alive. And as they're literally just like talking, the two guys, DR and what was it?
Shirano.
Shirano. For some reason, my brain said Shueisha. It wanted to say Shueisha. Shirano.
Oh, here, wait, one sec. It just came to my mind of just...
I created you, and you created me. Spider-Man, fuck this guy's ass.
What?
Yeah, fuck him up. Come on.
What are you talking about?
Twist his dick.
Whoa! What the fuck? But yeah, and so literally,
Fuck this guy's ass.
as they're just hanging out in the middle of town, it's like a western town too. Like the dragon's going to arrive and like kill and burn everything.
Girl depressed.
She's depressed, and then we just overhear DR and the Musketeer literally just espousing how much easier it is to be summoning a dragon, robbing a town blind, and leaving, and that they can only do it every 10 years. And last time they did it, they just happened to save a girl who made them famous. Because, obviously, my heroes...
Did they clarify they had to do it every 10 years? Especially because it was 7 years prior?
It was like they waited. They had enough money to wait. That kind of thing.
Basically, I think from what they had described, it was essentially just, man, we got so much money last time. Too bad like, they basically made it seem like they had run out.
They ran out of money, so every time...
And so it's like, why not just do it again? Yeah. And, like, the first attack, by the way, was their first time, flat out.
Yeah.
And so they had bad acting skills and all that.
But, so...
Ryuma just kill.
Ryuma's just like, alright, fuck it, I'm just gonna go kill these guys now. And then they have a really good, like, quick draw, like, with swords, to, like, a duel. And that's where we get, like, a really cool line art animation where Ryuma takes him out in one hit. Takes him out. Like, I wasn't sure if 100% if he was actually done in one hit, but yeah.
He's dead, yeah.
And... he kills DR off screen. I didn't like that. I didn't like that we didn't get to see that little like part.
I'll be honest. I did like it for one sole reason, and it was the way that he talked to him right before getting ready to kill him.
Just talking down to him.
It's one of my favorite lines from this already. Of just like, well, no, you have to keep me alive because if you don't keep me alive, then I can't blow the thing and stop the dragon. You have to keep me alive to save the city. It's not my city.
Not my city.
And then it cuts, and you're like, "Fuck!"
Yeah. I feel like they could have made Ryuma a bit more stoic. I feel like he's very brash. That I feel like he, especially with the whole like quirk that he has, that if you hit your sword scabbard with his sword scabbard, that means that you want a duel, and it was very Josuke.
So about that,
yeah,
Oda will never make a protagonist that is stoic. Flat out. If he made a sequel story, he would be upset if he made a character that was solely stoic.
Kuma.
Main character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, a protagonist Luffy style.
Yeah.
Of, like, the, like, main protagonist of his story will always be Goofy because who's fucking writing it?
Because the guy wants someone who's in charge of the plot, the protagonist, to be a bit more on the
because he wants a main character
side.
that will make him laugh.
That too.
Well, that, and, like, I think a story has a lot more fun, like, moving forward if the protagonist is a little unpredictable.
Yeah, you don't want your protagonist to be Sasuke. Everybody would hate that.
I don't know, I seem to like Jotaro as a protagonist.
Oh, but Jotaro has Joseph and Kakyoin and Avdol.
He's got a team.
He's got a team of supporting cast, and like they have their goofy moments. You know, Polnareff is goofy. Kakyoin is like he has the front of stoicism, but deep down he's a goofy 17-year-old, and he'll fuck with Polnareff whenever the fuck he can. And then there was that moment with the sun stand where everyone except Joseph noticed the fucking rock,
And we're laughing.
and we're losing
That is
shit.
still one of my favorite scenes in all of Part 3. Them just losing it over the rock.
They're just like, oh.
No, sir, you don't understand. I love that. So, sir, you don't understand. Look at the rock.
And then Joseph's like, oh, fuck, my team is falling apart from the heat.
They're losing their minds.
What the fuck do we do, guys? Guys, get a hold of yourself. Shut the fuck up, old man. Look at that rock over there. What? Now look over there. Oh.
Oh.
When it comes to Ryuma, the best way to describe how he is, like, in terms of, like, One Piece characters, he is pre Mihawk fight of Zoro.
Where he's a lot more
Lighthearted.
yeah. He doesn't have the giant scar of, like, burden of, I must find a way to beat Mihawk, like that kind of shit.
Yeah, basically the moment that he got sliced by Mihawk, it was like,
The
shit.
The angst was brought in.
Up until Skypiea.
No, I think the angst came in when he cried to Luffy that he would never lose again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was the start of the angst.
That was the
Yeah.
emotional, I have a duty,
Yeah,
like, to fulfill.
to uphold.
Before that, just imagine basically like a mix of Luffy and Zoro, like at that time, their goof is all Ryuma.
Yeah.
And so
And he has a really cool fight with the dragon that, like, it does get kind of interrupted by another attempt at the line art animation, but it's so jarring that you're just like, okay.
and then you move right past to like
Literally just the opening fight to Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Literally just the opening fight.
well, I like that like even to mention Jinzu, your reaction to it of just like, oh, that one was bad, to oh shit when he actually sliced the head off.
Rules of nature! Rules of nature!
Yeah, in general, it was just so we get the whole thing. Ryuma finally kills the dragon, and he just basically has a little goodbye message to the girl and just makes his way off as everybody is then told, yeah, you were all fucking idiots. No, it was not Ryuma who did the stupid. It was DR and Shirano were evil.
Yeah, that... It was very much like a Pokemon Jesse James literally just shouting out the top of their lungs, man, I can't believe that we fooled those fucking idiots. I fucking hate being a good guy, man. I sure love being a bad guy.
When it comes down, you need some way to reveal it in a one-shot because, like...
You can have them just opening the door to the saloon and they both have, like, the bags of all the money and they're just like, fuck.
That's the same level, though.
But it's like it's a lot better than them standing in the middle of town going, I love being evil.
I mean, it was very much, you could very much tell that this was Oda's like one of his first stories because of them just like explicitly saying, I am evil, I enjoy villainy, yes, and I liked it when I killed all those people and pretended that they were my men who died fighting the dragon that I brought over here.
It's you can see it, like it's the same thing, but
You
then
also really
done,
want to draw this.
but then also done really well.
You tell Oda just really wanted to draw this image.
Of them just laughing in the middle of town, having
Yeah.
a bunch of loot. But the way that you just described it, that's literally exactly what Crocodile, Doflamingo, a bunch of like huge villain characters do. Man, I sure love being an asshole.
Oh, but
obviously done better.
Those scenes are revealed in the context of privacy.
Yeah,
Those characters aren't out in the open. Like Crocodile very specifically needs to have a public opinion. That's good.
Yeah, positive.
So he'll always do the whole his like shitty little laugh when he's talking with his group, when he's talking to Baroque Works and like they're conspiring and everything.
When he's Mr. Zero or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Mr. Zero, yeah.
But it's like done that way. Like it's very obvious that this was like the start of it, where he was just like, I like my villains who actively know that they're evil and are actually going to be an asshole. But the reveal of it, he got better at.
There's one line change from the manga that I kind of wish that they had kept because it made me laugh, which was like, Jesus Christ. where it was DR talking to Shirano, and they were both agreed about this. It's just like, man, if the girl knew that you had been the one to have killed her parents and all that shit, she'd have offed herself.
Yeah,
It's like, Jesus, man.
there's a lot of that's in this this special, where just a lot of people are just like, you should commit seppuku. I'm not committing seppuku. Don't commit seppuku. I'm not committing seppuku.
Yeah, well, you could tell for this one, they kind of like trimmed down the nails a little bit, because even the seppuku thing, it's literally a guy running up, like all the people run up and just, you should cut your gut open right now. It's like, Jesus, man. And it's like, yes, that is seppuku, but
Do it now.
Well, that should only be done. You guys understand seppuku?
In
Yeah, we know.
dishonor, death before dishonor.
but yeah. So we get
But
the
wait,
whole,
he's already dishonored, so why would he?
He's already exiled, so who cares?
Yeah.
we get the whole thing where after he leaves, everybody's talking, and what was it? The barkeep, he starts going, oh, now I remember, his Ryuma the king.
That's what everybody calls him, but he doesn't know about it.
I find that hilarious that Ryuma does not know that he is the #1 swordsman, and so strives to be better.
Yeah, I feel like that is kind of the downfall of the world's greatest swordsman with Mihawk and Zoro, is that they know basically that there is like an actual like hunter, like in Hunter x Hunter, the best hunter and all that kind of stuff, like being the #1 guy, and then with the samurai, the Samuel L. Jackson samurai,
Afro Samurai.
Afro Samurai. Why did I forget that? But Afro Samurai, where it's obviously like there were other numbers, but now it's just 2 and 1. Where it's, when you set that up, the person in charge very obviously becomes complacent. So when the person who is the best doesn't know he's the best, I find that very interesting. Like, it also allows that person to continually get better.
Also, I think I find it weird that he has like a random title that everyone knows.
Yeah.
But they look at him and they're like, oh, it's just a random fucking samurai. Like, wouldn't people be more like, holy shit, it's him?
Well, I feel the modern explanation nowadays would be the fact that it's during the Void Century, where I feel like it was kind of like the dark ages of information. So most people don't know shit, of like, everybody's a little too freaked out.
Also, it's like kind of in the past, so like we don't really have pictures of people back then, that kind of stuff. Also, I think it's very similar to like a big knight in this one kingdom that everybody knows about, but he left that kingdom. So obviously in Wano he would be revered and all that kind of stuff, but outside of it, not everybody knows about the world's greatest swordsman, and they kind of just see him.
They know he's Ryuma the king.
That's true, yeah. I feel like that was just kind of like a reveal thing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and they
all
would get, like,
they know is the title, the king.
Yeah.
And so, like, there are some people that know the other part of it, Ryuma, but
When I heard that, I didn't think they were talking about the strongest swordsman. I thought they were just talking like, oh, the king of this kingdom.
Yeah, I wasn't, or like the king of the pirates. I wasn't sure exactly what they were referring to.
Yeah, like what fucking king? And then it was like it felt very like it felt very improperly set up.
yeah,
I feel like they could have set it up better. Maybe wordplayed it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe like I don't know. Obviously, this is Oda's first story, so there's gonna be a few.
he was 17, by the way.
Yeah, he was 17. There's gonna be a few fucking like chips in like the plot, right? Like
Yeah.
or like what the story is. And it was just a one shot that he was just trying to like pitch. He was just trying to pitch this to like for the sake of pitching. He obviously didn't put as much thought into this as he did One Piece.
Oh god. Yeah.
Oh no.
And then the very last bit that we get is that turns out, like, I feel like this is like a retcon sort of situation where like it was in, because we go back to Thriller Bark, the moment that Ryuma's soul body thing, reanimated corpse, gives the sword to Zoro, and it almost feels like that would have been a story that he would have told Zoro to inspire him. That's what it felt like that moment could have been like rewritten as.
I wouldn't like I'll be honest, pushing Zoro in some certain direction to motivate him, I don't like that. I like that
It's
Zoro...
like taking up the sword. It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, Zoro taking the sword, that's good. Telling Zoro a story to try to motivate him to get better, I will say flat out no to.
No,
because
he
has his story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has his, but obviously taking the sword is like a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like taking another guy's like main weapon, it's a
Yeah.
huge deal. So that's
Yeah.
why I feel like that's the more of like the message of the story, where it's like, just because you have your own strength, it doesn't kill you to take someone else's better tool. Basically,
Yeah.
it won't kill you.
But I did like that little last bit of just him getting the sword. I like the idea there that there's this idea that like a lot of anime tries to push that the body can overpower like the soul whenever that kind of thing happens, of like a soul in another body kind of thing.
Yeah.
Of like the body, if the soul is strong enough, the body will still like kind of take. There's this whole fucking thing. I really like. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 did it really well.
Because with Ryuma's reanimated corpse, it's more Ryuma than Brook.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. Because that's what he was. That's the soul shadow that powered him up.
Yeah. And so the idea that Ryuma kind of is knowing of what's going on there, I like that idea. But anyway,
I got a question.
I got theories.
I got a question. Would you rather see a special that shows us how the Straw Hat got made, or how Usopp got his slingshot?
The straw hat, how the straw hat got made. I'm gonna be 100%.
I want to see an in between of like Shanks' story. I want to see Shanks go from being pirate apprentice to Gold Roger to becoming Shanks, the whoever the fuck he is.
Red hair Shanks,
Red hair
pirate,
Shanks.
pirate emperor.
I like that you joke, but at the same time, when it comes to like the whole thing of the straw hat, the first thing that comes to my mind is they're 100% gonna explore that in the future, considering. It was the hat of Gold Roger, dude.
Yeah,
they have to, right?
It was, yeah. And that's the joke, where it's like, do you want the thing you actually know is going to happen, or do you want this stupid thing?
Well, when it comes to how he got the slingshot whale, okay, I would love if it's like a like climactic final battle between him and his dad, and you get to see like
the original
before he left, like to go to the open seas, he left his old slingshot to Usopp.
Yeah,
and then Usopp dies.
It would be cool to see. It would be cool to see Usopp's original slingshot, that he uses that in his fight with Usopp.
Yeah,
it would be with his dad. It would be interesting.
Yeah, and then Usopp dies.
He's dead.
So I've got theories.
What's the theory?
I gotta mention these theories because it's very interesting. Of Ryuma. What is the most spread around tale of Ryuma?
That he killed a dragon?
That he slayed a dragon.
Yeah.
And so some people have thoughts of that. Of more than likely he did it to protect Wano is the idea that was pushed around by the show.
Yeah.
So, was it the dragon they showed in the movie? Was theory 1. Theory 2 was that it was the previous user of Kaido's fruit. Theory 3, celestial dragon.
I don't think it was a celestial dragon thing.
And the final theory that I find interesting is people have mentioned a very bizarre connection when it comes to animals, ships, and the ancient weapons.
Elaborate.
So one of the most interesting ones, obviously, you have the Noah, where what ancient weapon is, people imagine that like the Noah may be partly connected to Poseidon.
Yeah.
So it'd be Poseidon the person, the ship, and then the sea beasts, the sea kings. All those three would be connected.
Okay.
And so then it would extend to, okay, well, what would be on the land? Well, there's a powerful ship named after the god of the earth, essentially, Pluto. And so, what would be a giant animal that may be connected to it?
A dragon.
Zo.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The idea that Zunisha might be connected to Pluto, Pluton.
It would also work with the 3 types of devil fruits.
Exactly. And the last one, Uranus, god of the sky.
The sky, yeah.
So it'd be a warship possibly in the sky.
I think you said it wrong. It's pronounced Uranus.
By the way, I know it's supposed to be Zeus and Jupiter, but yeah, it's weird. They decided Uranus. They decided Uranus. I guess that just seemed like it may be a mix if he just found the name a little funnier. And so Uranus being basically would be the god of sky. So Uranus may be a sky ship, something related to the sky. And finally, part of the theory is that it controlled dragons. Back in the Void Century, there may have been dragons that came to Wano, attacked, and Ryuma defended Wano.
What if it was just that Eneru's just a spoiler that foreshadowing, that's the word, that Eneru is going to come back and he's going to say, "May the real king of the pirates please stand up." Yeah.
Actually, funny enough, when it comes to Eneru, it is actually a theory that the ship that he left on was Uranus.
Probably was.
That'd be that would be so fucking cool, I'll be honest.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's fucking, like, I think
it helped him sail to the moon.
He went to the moon. He went to the actual fucking moon.
Jinzu, there's an entire backstory of Eneru going to the moon.
And he said, will the real low gravity celestial body please stand up?
And then the moon moved and everyone died.
It moved 1 inch.
Yep.
But yeah, so those are the 4 theories basically of what the dragon could be. I'll be honest, I am still kind of the camp of the idea that he killed a celestial dragon.
I do prefer the I find the theory that he killed the first person who had the dragon fruit.
Yep.
Kaido's like a person who had the fruit before Kaido, because it also gives another reason for why Kaido would be obsessed with Wano.
Yeah.
I would like that.
But yeah, what do you think, Jinzu? Was it like for the dragon that Ryuma slayed? What do you think it was? Was it just the dragon that we saw, or was it like previous user of Kaido's fruit?
Like some metaphor?
Yeah, celestial dragon, just something.
I mean, they kind of brought the clip of Ryuma in One Piece handing Zoro the sword.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's we can only take it literally, you know, like it was a literal dragon that he killed, and everyone was like, "That's impressive."
The one reason why people still feel mixed about the idea that it was just a normal fucking dragon like the one they showed off there, the reason why people still feel mixed is because, I mean, mind you, Zoro has killed a dragon. Back on Punk Hazard.
Yeah.
He slays the dragon, the artificial dragon. So, but no one really made a big deal of it. So the question becomes like, okay, was that as big deal as Ryuma's or no?
And also, have we seen like actual dragons in One Piece, or has it just been?
It's been Kaido's fruit and solely the artificial dragons. But considering this is technically canon, those dragons are also real.
So yeah, I would have to assume that it was very literal. Like he slayed a literal real dragon.
Yeah.
And was like known for it.
And probably also like dragons still, like the actual dragons are still like really strong things, so killing one is no small feat.
I was gonna say, also Kaido's fruit would be also a literal dragon, so in all fairness, when it comes to that one.
Well, like that's like a dragon with like obviously like semantics.
Yeah, no, but you see Kaido, everyone knows him as the dragon.
Actually, the only things I've ever seen of Kaido are him just drinking. I haven't seen that he actually has a dragon fruit,
and fucking up Kid's Island, and
yeah, technically, I'm not supposed to know that Kaido has the dragon fruit. Technically,
yeah, technically, but hey.
As I look over at the statue I got Duke for Christmas, that's Luffy Gear 5 absolutely clowning on Dragon Kaido. 2 very big spoilers.
Well, you want to go for one that got me was I was so worried when it came to your what would have been a spoiler of Kid being basically right there.
Yeah, Kid joining up with Law and Luffy.
Now that you've seen that he's imprisoned by Kaido in the show, it's obvious.
It's also like the teaser images that I saw from the Wano fight. I also did see Kid standing there, and like
now you got the clarification.
But like I didn't really comprehend. Like my brain didn't like save Kid.
That's not Kid.
It didn't save. His design wasn't saved in my brain, but Law's was. So when I saw Law on Sabaody, I was like, "That's the guy with Luthien in Wano in the 1,000 episodes."
Yeah.
But Kid, for some reason,
hey, it's in episode 900 when we get to Wano.
Oh, is it? Oh, Jinzu.
Well, actually, we're only 100 episodes away. Yes. Jesus Christ!
I was about to say, Jinzu, you want to know where I am in One Piece right now?
Where?
Episode 801.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yes, it is.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. So...
I was going to say, we make a joke and then we're like, wait, we're almost there! Oh, God!
That's actually less time than it took us to watch Dressrosa. All of Dressrosa.
We got Whole Cake, we got Reverie, and then we've got Wano.
And then I'll be caught up with One Piece.
I would find it funny if Egghead finishes before you get caught up. That'd be funny.
That'd be great. Then I can actually finish an entire arc caught up.
God damn!
And guess what? I'm not rewatching it.
So anyway, for our 1,000 subscriber special,
we're rewatching all of One Piece in one sitting. Help! Help! Help!
No, if we got to 1,000 subscribers, I'm not kidding. I would have us just do that. I would 100% go for that. Like, in one sitting of, like, we'd have to take turns, like, going off and doing shit.
Living, surviving. One of us comes back with food, like, for
You see me, I've been there for, like, 74 hours, and just, how you doing, guys?
Oh, God, no.
I'm completely unfazed, and just, like, start the next episode.
What's next, Duke?
What's next? For the people on the channel, they will be seeing that up next is Dressrosa Part 2.
Hey! There we go.
This one I especially wanted to throw out right away, considering it's,
Striking while the iron's hot.
yeah, Strike While the Iron's Hot, of like, dude, it's, Ryuma's story, and it just came out. Yeah. I gotta share this.
Yeah, it's very cool. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked it, subscribe for more, and we'll catch you next time. Anything to add, Jinzu?
No.
I love the long pause and just, nah. Bye!
Last thing I wanted to leave off was there any other possible spin-off idea for One Piece that you think would be interesting?
I want to actually see Nolan's story.
You want to actually see... Well, actually we did, in all fairness. That was his story.
No. I want to see where the other island went.
What about you, Jinzu? Like, a character that you'd love to see a spin-off of other than Shanks? Because that's guaranteed backstory.
When he's the villain of one of the last arcs.
Master Shimotsuki, Kuina's dad.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
And maybe the truth about her death.
And where they got the sword?
A random dog ate her. He was hungry.
He was hungry.
Bye.
If you want to see more of our content, you can find our YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter on our linktree at linktr.ee/greenvillains. That's linktr.ee/greenvillains.